Collection video time once again here in the gaming pantry. This is the Retro Bear bidding you a very, very warm welcome to the pantry of games. And you can see the new sign behind me, if you've seen the recent video about the Black Country Gaming Fair, got the WrestleFest sign on it. As you can see, it looks really good, doesn't it? It looks great up there. I think the idea is to get a few more of those going up the wee wall, because that's probably the only place I could stick them. I could also stick them on the PlayStation 2 wall, which is a good thing because that's what we're talking about today. Yes, we're talking about my PlayStation 2 collection. Now, regular viewers will know that I have a large PlayStation 2 collection. We don't call it the PlayStation 2 wall for nothing. It's not entirely PlayStation 2, because there are some other things on there which I've just found out have been hidden by some cardboard, which I didn't realise were actually there, which sort of makes up for the fact that I'm wondering where half my Master System games have gone to. But they're all down there, secreted behind this bit of cardboard on the PlayStation 2 wall. And that's what we're going to talk about today, PlayStation 2. And yeah, I mean, when I did the Wii collection, obviously there's 706 games, I think, there now. When I did that, people wanted, you know, it's finally the time that, I mean, that video was like 20 or 15 parts or whatever it was. And I thought, well, you know, I can sit here and do exactly the same for the PlayStation 2. There's 640 games-ish there. 600, and I'm thinking, do you want to sit through 640 games of me going, yeah, this is crap. Yeah, this is crap. I don't know. So I'm trying to do this slightly differently. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about PlayStation 2 and my journey with it. Then I'm going to sort of move across the PlayStation 2 wall and we'll just scan through the games that are on the shelf, and anything I can point out and remember and talk about, I will do. And then I think what we'll probably end up doing is a few Play More in 24 videos this year, highlighting some games from that selection. I've been going through it, there's a lot of same genres in there, so potentially I could do an entire Play More in 24 about driving games, or series of driving games, or, you know, rubbish licensed games and things like that. So there's more scope to do with that. So rather than just sit here and just show you video after video of me holding the case up and going, here's a game, here's a game, here's a game, and to move away from that, let's talk about games and play more of them, I think we'll do that. So I can talk about consoles, because that's technically, we're not talking games, are we? Talking consoles. We can get away with that under the rather loose Play More in 24 hashtag. So let's start off. PlayStation 2. Where did my journey begin? Well, when the PlayStation 2 came out, I was more or less nonplussed, because I'd already got a PlayStation 1, so I thought, well, yeah. The added advantage was it had a DVD player based into it, but I'd already got a DVD player by that point, so I wasn't really sort of mega fussed about it. It was only when, I don't know, probably mid-2000s-ish. Certainly before we moved here anyway, I think. Yeah, I think it was before we moved here. And we were weighing up what console to get, and we ended up getting the GameCube. Then we ended up getting the GameCube traded in for an Xbox, because the GameCube was, at the time, disappointing. Obviously, I've changed my opinion over the years on it. And eventually, we had an opportunity to buy a PlayStation 2 off Mrs. Bear's brother, because he was looking to get rid of his. They'd got a young family, and they sort of used it for a bit and put it away. You will probably notice there are a couple of games I have in the collection when we get to that point, which sort of tick those boxes, as I've still got some of those. I can remember two of them, launch titles anyway, so it's sort of younger age group. And basically Claire's brother said, oh, you know, well, if you want to buy it off me, I'll sell it you for 50 quid. There's like a bag full of games came with it, and I thought, great, you know. So we ended up with one of these, which is the original Fat Blacken. Can you be any more the Fat Blacken? Yeah, the Fat Blacken. It is, isn't it? Look at that. It weighs a ton, bloody hell. I thought the Xbox was heavy, but this isn't even far off it. But yeah, so, I mean, it looks the part, doesn't it? It looked the part back then. Lovely logo on the front there, nice logo. So you've got your fan at the back there, and then you've got your control bits around the front, so you've got your controllers and your memory cards going in there, some USB connectivity there. Also doubled as a DVD player, as I mentioned. Very, very useful thing to have, because DVD players on their own were a couple £100. I mean, I know the Xbox had got one with it as well. So it's all worth getting. So we got that, and yeah, I don't know. It just didn't click with me. I don't know what it was. I wanted one, you know, I thought, well, yeah, when we were deciding to buy an Xbox or a GameCube, I was really pushing for a PlayStation 2, simply because of the games. And I think, well, which was to play games on. We didn't need a DVD player. We thought we'll buy a GameCube. And then we got rid of that. We thought, well, do we get one of the PlayStation 2? Will we get the Xbox? Oh, the Xbox reasonably new. The PlayStation 2's been out for a bit now. We don't want old tech. You know, Mrs. Bear, we don't want old tech in here. No, of course not. Look what happens 20 odd years later. And the house is full of old tech, including us. So when I eventually we got the Xbox, and when I eventually got one of these, I don't know. It's not like I dislike the PlayStation 2. This is what I'm trying to work out. I've been sitting down working this out in my head recently as to why don't click with it. I don't know. For reasons unbeknownst to me, it's like, you know, when I got a Saturn. You know, when I first started retro, you know, I don't want to rag on the Saturn and whatever. When I first started retro game collecting back in 2000 and fast asleep, I wanted a Saturn. It's like, I want a Saturn. I'm going to get one. You know, I got one in the bundle with a Dreamcast and a SNES. You couldn't put those three together for probably best part of 150 quid, and I got mine for about 40, including postage, all three of them. Because I wanted one. I thought, you know, this is the system that's eluded me, never played on it, and I'm just disappointed by it. Did I hold it that high? Did I hold the PlayStation 2 on the same pedestal? I just don't know. It just didn't. It didn't seem any different, and I guess it's because it didn't seem any different to what was on the Xbox and what was on the GameCube. I mean, the controller was the same as the PlayStation 1, which is great. I'm very comfortable with that, but the games just didn't seem any different. So when you move forward to, say, the PlayStation 3, 360, Wii generation, the reason probably that I like the Wii is because it was slightly different. It wasn't just a standard bog standard controller based thing. You've got a motion sensor thing gone into it. I know we had PlayStation Move and Kinect, which had their faults and stuff, as did the motion controls on the Wii, but it was set up for that. That was a selling point to it. I don't know, so it didn't really resonate with me greatly when I first started. Now, before you go sort of cracking off and wondering what I'm talking about, I'm not saying that this is a bad machine. Absolutely not. I think it's a good little console. And I think had Microsoft not come into the market, I probably would have, you know, if the Xbox didn't exist at all, then yes, I probably would have enjoyed this greatly, but it just doesn't go with me. Have we got any issues with this? Well, yes, the laser's a bit slow on it. Some games read in this one and not my other PlayStation 2, which I'll show you in a second. So yeah, that point is a bit of looking at, but yeah, as a console, I think it looks a great console. Now I mentioned the other one I got, and put that down there. Because eventually, a couple of years ago, probably it's pre-COVID, so we're talking 2019, I had the opportunity to get another PlayStation 2, because I know that was playing up. I didn't want one of those slim things. I mean, you know, one of the great attractions to the PlayStation 1 is the original look, not the paracetamol stroke aspirin inspired PS1, as it was called, or Puz1, or Puzzone, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's a horrible looking thing. So I had the opportunity to buy another PlayStation 2 for a great price, which I did from Cash Converters. And I think I paid 25, 30 quid for it. And it's a silver one. And this is the one I tend to use. I probably should preserve this more. But it came with silver control pads as well, which is even better. So, you know, basically, I mean, these are on box. I haven't got a box for PlayStation 2, but I ain't so fussed about that. And it just looks so much nicer. And it's a really nice, clean example of it. You can see there, just glinting. There aren't too many dinks or divots or bits peeling off it. It's exactly the same as the PlayStation 2 black one, same setup, but looks much nicer. And that tends to play some games that my black player PS2 doesn't. But yeah, you still got a sticker on it. You know, that's what $24.99. That's what I paid for it. Even cheaper than I thought it was. Why is that still on there? That's going to require Mrs. Bear and some label remover, I think. Yeah, I forgot that was on there actually. But there you go, $24.99. Has it got a date on it? I'm not sure if it's got a date on it. No, sometimes they put dates on things, don't they? Yeah, PlayStation 2 silver with the accessories and the power lead. Yeah, $24.99. So that was 2019, I think it was. Bit of a bargain, that. You can still get bargains, you know. I just don't know why it just doesn't. It's not a system that sort of creeps out and says, "Whoa, yeah, I must play more of this." I don't know why. And I'm not saying it's got bad games. I'm not saying it's a bad system. Don't get me wrong. It's just something which you know, I'd rather sit down with the Xbox or the GameCube. Can't work it out why. People think I'm mad saying something like that. And here's the other thing, how did I end up with 640 games for a system I don't really get on with? That's crazy talking. That's, you know, you're mad, you're bonkers. Well, let's talk about it. When I first got the PlayStation 2, it came with about, I don't know, 15, 20 games from Neil, I can't remember. And at one point it was the largest game system in my collection, because just above David there, in fact actually on that shelf, David, where David is, there's a sticker there which says PlayStation 2. That's where the PlayStation 2 stuff started. And the shelf above it, so there's two shelves there, where my hand is there, those two. Those were PlayStation 2 and then would filter down. And I think at one point I had 85 PlayStation 2 games, and the Wii collection, as we know, sat there, where it says Caution Angry Gamer, stack of 10. So why did I end up with so many PlayStation 2 games? Well, because it was a cheap system to collect for. It still is. You used to go in a charity shop, and the most common system represented on the shelf with games was PlayStation 2. You go to a car boot, the place was full of PlayStation 2 games, because there's literally thousands of them. And it was just so easy and cheap to pick up and collect for. It was like the Wii. So the reason I started collecting the Wii was exactly the same reason. There were so many cheap games for it. And when I first started doing this, and as I'm ashamed to say I've not followed it through, I used to buy games. A game cost, it's a running joke in our retro gaming circles. A running joke. It cost more than £2 because I'm not interested. If it's will cost more than £1, I wasn't interested. If it cost £2, I have to think about it seriously. But that's because I was on a budget. And I wanted to prove you could actually just buy games and build a game collection on a budget. I mean, granted, you buy a lot of rubbish, but you'll find some good games and hunt around for them. Nowadays, people go hunting for cheap games, and on the track that either one, someone's made a cock up and they're selling, Rule of Rose for 50p and it's worth like 200 quid. Whatever that game's called, I can't remember now. Or secondly, there's a £2 game in on the charity shop we can trade in for 15 quid. And you wouldn't even think about playing the PlayStation. All you want to do is move it on for credit. It's changed a lot since that. It's kind of, well, if they're going to sell these games for 50p, then I'll get them. I'll get them and build a collection. And that's what happened. And as we go through the games, there are very, very few games there I've paid any more than, 2-3 quid at the very. There's one game in there I know I've paid a tenner for. But nothing anywhere near that. I've got one game, everything else has been purchased for easily £3 and under, everything else. Some of it's been given to me. You know what I mean? It is crazy. It is crazy. It's very easy to get sucked in and do that. And there are some good games in there, don't get me wrong, and there's a lot of filler. This is why I don't want to sit here and just show you 14 copies of SingStar, because it's just a waste of time, and I wouldn't be happy doing that anyway. So what we'll do now is we'll probably move across the PlayStation 2 wall, and then to the power of moving things around and talking through a different device. I'll try and give you a tour of the PlayStation 2 wall best I can. Now obviously this depends on me and technology. We all know these things don't always go according to plan. So if you get a black screen, or something else comes on telling you not to buy the Atari 400 Mini, don't worry, that's just me. So hopefully I'll see you over there in a moment. Right, so I can hope you hear me down here, because I'm holding this rather precariously in one hand and trying to talk with the other. Can I talk? I can't talk with the other hand. Right, anyway, I'm hoping you can hear me. So this is a start the PlayStation 2 wall at the top. And we'll just go through some bits and pieces here. Just going to see what's up there. 24, the game, which is a steel tin version. Quite hard to find that one, but it's a dirt cheap game to pick up. But I think it's not bad though. Remember 24? Everyone used to talk about 24 when it first came out. There were a couple of skiing games there as well. Alias, which it is okay. Amplitude, which is that one there. That's like a rhythm-based game, I think, which I think Eddie may have told me about. It's quite. I think maybe not in a different one, probably. It's a very, very good game though. So this is some of the rubbish you get. Arthur and the Invisibles, based on the film. I've never even heard of it. Atari Anthology, which is very, very popular at the moment. Those sort of compilations people do try and pick up. Rubbish like Backyard Wrestling. And they've got a fishing game there, because it wouldn't be a Retro Bear video if it was a fishing game. What have we got up here? Battlestar Galactica. That's not too bad. Not too bad. Ben-Hur, I think we play for PlayStation Month A couple of years ago, there's a video on the channel, Beverly Hills Cop Terrible Licence, with our Terrible Licence. Birmingham City Football Club 2005, only there because I've never seen it before or since. I'm not sure whether it's any good or not, or a rare one, but I don't think it is. But of course there's Black, which is unfortunately the Black Label version. What have we got going on? Britney's Dance Beat, yeah, that's right at the very top there. Problem with that, it's a rhythm game which you can only use the controller for, which sort of defies the point, really, doesn't it? We've got a Broken Sword, Point and Click, Brothers in Arms. Oh, Budgingay Swordmaster, which I picked up at a charity shop for very, very little. That's my finger at the top of the picture, move out of the way. We've got the Burnout games, and then Buzz Collection, so I do like a quiz game. And then right at the very end, there we go, the Call of Duty Collection. Capcom Classics Collection, that came from Eddie as a gift. And we got the Captain Scarlet right below, rubbish games there. I think Gentleman of Games played that recently. He wasn't very favourable with it. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Catwoman, and we've got Charlie's Angels and Charlotte's Web. Collection of crap really there. Chicken Little, dear dear. And then Circus Maximus Charity, we've got quite a lot of these gladiator type games. Do you like gladiator movies? Yeah, Commandos games, conflict games, down here playing those on the PC when they first came in. Crash games, sadly Black Label. Constantine, I'm pretty sure that's gone up in value. I got that for very, very little. For that came, I've got the Crash games there. Crazy Chicken X, my god. Crazy Taxi, cricket games, Crazy Tug Hidden Dragon. CSI, never watched an episode of CSI, but I've got a game based on it. Dakar 2, that's quite a fun racing game. And then you've got plenty of dancing games again. David Beckham Soccer. Dead or Alive 2, they said, I've got to beat them up. Oh, there's Deep Water, that's sealed. That came, bought it with other games. Oh, there we go, Demolition Girl. Yeah, that comes out once a year to be shown on the channel. Well, that's 2024 covered. That's sealed as well. Not many sealed games there, but that's one. Detonator, that's quite a fun game. Japanese version of Devil May Cry, which is ironically about as collectible as the PAL version of Devil May Cry. Some Disney games, there are quite a few Disney ones in the collection. There's a list of songs there I wrote down at the top. You can't quite see, there we go. Sorry, my finger's getting away, I'm trying to work the camera. Lots of Disney games. Yes, can't have enough Disney games. Dodgeball, that was the third one. So you've got Deep Water, Dodgeball, and Demolition Girl. They all came from Amazon for about £3. They're all still sealed. Got Dynasty games there as well. We got D in the corner there. Oh, EA Sports. So we're coming down to the sports section, back down to this side here. Echo the Dolphin. Yeah, just general. Eve Extinction. That's not bad. I played that. I think. Not sure whether we actually did a video on that one or not. I remember playing it for a video. Never really got around to it. Escape from Monkey Island. ESPN football games, Eternal. Got 2 games with Eternal in them. Extermination, that was I think a very early sort of zombie game, but look at that lovely sort of cover on that one. Right next to Extreme Spirit 3010. Hang on. Ooh. Yeah, right next to Extreme Spirit 3010, which is the Phoenix game. Loads of iToy games, but they're so cheap, like the iToy itself. It'd be cruel not to have them. Fantavision, that was a launch title. Based around fireworks and music. Lots of this rubbish there. Fighting Fury. I should have realised I'd taken these out and possibly the worst PlayStation 2 cover I've ever seen. I mean, it does look like someone's drawn that in some sort of, yeah. It's not surprising it's a Phoenix game. Oh, it's Midas game, that one. Sorry. Midas game. Goodness me, right. I've not thought this out very well, have I? Not to worry. Fireblade, Ford Racing games, like Formula 1 games there as well, Free Runners, Freedom Fighters, Freestyle Metal. From Which We Love, very underrated. Is it up there? James Bond game, yeah, very underrated that one. If you see that out and about, pick that up. We've got all the Gran Turismos on this side as well. Got Gadget, the Gadgetinis, what? Got Ghost Recon there, Giants, Citizen Caboose, that was a launch game, I think. Yeah. Godzilla Unleashed, that's quite an expensive game on the Wii, I think. Consider release. There we go. We've got the Gran Turismo collection over there. Come back down here a bit more high level now. Coming off the stall. Got the Grand Theft Auto games in there. Gregory Horror Show, I always point out to people when they come around, because I got that for about £2-3. It was worth, I think CX was selling it for about 60, either during or post-Covid. I think it's come down a bit in price since then. There's some Harry Potter games in there, because I love Harry Potter. Hurdy-gurdy, I always like the cover on Hurdy-gurdy. Giant purple bear chasing after you. Look at that one, get over the top, there we go. I do like the cover on that one. Hello Kitty Roller Rescue, which we did play for PlayStation 2 months. It's actually not a bad game, that one. Honestly, not as bad as you think it's going to be. A couple of Hitman games are very popular. iNinja, I'm going to start getting these out because of the wobble on the camera. iNinja, very, very underrated little platformer, that one from Namco. Intellivision compilation, if you've ever... Not really no interest in the Intellivision, but that's certainly one that's worth getting in a compilation form, certainly. Then we got the EA James Bond games, Agents Under Fire, Everything or Nothing, Nightfire. All great games. Justice League Heroes. You'd be surprised to see that one there. Oh, there we go. There we go, Stu. Generation Pixels, a Kessen game there. Yeah, I bet you didn't think you'd see that there, did you? Never played it. I'm not going to either. Kingdom Hearts 2. I mean, because he's got the Disney time, I really wanted to like that, but hell no. Sorry. That's just me. Got a couple of the Lara Croft games. That one's got the slipcover on it. Legend. Which is worth picking up. Nice slipcover, actually, on that as well. Le Mans 24 Hour. I played the PlayStation 1 version of that for PlayStation 1. We've got Leisure Suit Larry. That's a flashback to my the old days of when I first started playing. It's real rubbish here. Little Britain, Looney Tunes at me Arsenal. Oh, so disappointed that game. That should have been so much better. It was. We've got a promo copy of the Tour of France. Well, don't know how I ended up with that. It's not my sort of thing. Lumines, love those sort of games. We got Madden. Mad Maestro is a game I thought honestly. It's a cartoon conducting game. I honestly thought that game would really appreciate a lot, but it hasn't. You got Made Man and Mafia next to each other, two sort of gangster games. Manhunt, the original, which I think is very hard to get now. And again, I know it's going for a few quid. Manhunt 2 as well, I think it was. I think it might be that one. Yeah, Mary Kate and Ashley Sweet 16. Yeah, that's a driving lesson simulator. Yeah, that's when we were buying really rubbish games. Medal of Honor series, love those games. Mercenaries as well. When I first saw those advertised on the telly, they would look really, really good. Mercury Meltdown remix, which came out as Mercury Meltdown Revolution on the Wii, one of Arch McLean's games. Got Metal Gear Solid there. Miami Vice, Davilex game, terrible game, but for some reason they actually forked out enough money to get the original theme tune on there, which is by far and away the best thing about it. There's an old video of Micro Machines 4 somewhere on my channel as well. Midway Arcade Treasures, again, these sort of things people love to pick up, compilations. Mighty Moonland, God, it's a Phoenix game. Mortal Kombat, yeah, it's a Mortal Kombat game there. Wow, how did that end up with that? How did they end up with Mortal Kombat? Mr. Bean, that's more like it. There we are, Muppets Party Cruise, that was when I think the Muppets were licensed from a German company. And they made some, again, Muppet Monster Racing or something. Just wasn't as good as it should have been for the Muppets. Some Need for Speed games, I do like Need for Speed, Ninja Short. Oni, got Black Label for some reason. It's easy to pick up that one. Still a Black Label version of it. Probably the systems I've got most classics for, or sort of non original labels. Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. Paparazzi, now I mentioned the game I paid the 10 quid for. That was one I did. Purely because I'd heard Mark Geordie Slasher talking about it. There we go, Paparazzi. And I haven't quite perfected the way of swinging these around, but yes, it's one of those sorts of games. Not rude, because it's got a 3 rating on it. But, yeah. Yeah, some real rubbish here. Pimp My Ride, Pippa Funnel, Pop Idol, Portal Runner, that's another terrible game. And some Power Rangers games. They're Power Rangers for some reason. random disc on the end, which I'm not sure what that's for. More Power Rangers. Prince of Persia games, very, very stylish games at the time. Lots of Pro Evo games, because I do like Pro Evo. Puyo Pop Fever, very, very excellent puzzle game if you've never played that before. Quest for Sleeping Beauty, that was one of the games that came with it when we bought the PlayStation 2 from Claire's brother. Radio Helicopter, I think that's a 505 game. So I think I've also got that on the Wii as well. Ratchet and Clank, Raven Raving Rabbids. RC Revenge Pro is a game which always seems to elude me for some reason. 3 times I bought that and 3 times there was something wrong with it one way or the other. Reservoir Dogs. Oh yeah, Resident Evil. I only got 3 games Resident Evil collection, but Resident Evil 4, that came from Stu, 2 to UK, my first gift from a YouTuber. Ridge Racer. Road Trip Adventure, which is actually an RPG, I think, from what I remember. Robin Hood's Quest. No, I did buy that one. Robot Wars was the other game I think came from Claire's brother. Rocky Games. Oh, R-Type Final. There we go. So you get all this crap, and then you get R-Type Final shoved in there. Rumble Roses, which is a Japanese-based wrestling game. And regardless of what people said about it, saying it's not very good at all, I still went and bought it. Carl Boots on the first time I saw it, and yeah, it's not very good at all. We got Scarface. Yep, Scarface, The World Is Yours. Got 3 Scooby-Doo games. I'd like to do those, actually. Being a Scooby-Doo fan, I'd like to play those and show those off. Sega Classics Collection, I was very disappointed with that because it just didn't. I don't know, it just didn't do what it said in the tin for me. I know those were the Sega, I think it was the Sega Ages duo as they did for Japan market only, but no, I didn't like them at all. Another Gladiator game down there, Shadow of Rome, Shrek 2, Shrek 3, Silent Scope games, and then we got the SingStar collection. 14 SingStar games altogether. If I could sing a lick, it wouldn't be so bad, would it? But I can't. So I've got 80s, 90s ABBA, Anthems, Legends, Party, Pop-Its, Pop Worlds, R&B, Rocks and Rock Ballad, and then come down here, there's still more of the buggers down here. Sing Along with Disney, which I think may have come from Sega Zombie. Summer Party Sky Odyssey, that's a nice little flight game. Early PlayStation 2 title, more rubbish here. Smarties Meltdown, featuring the vocal talents of Dave Benson Phillips. Smuggler's Run, yeah, one of the best games on the Xbox. Actually, very good games, those. Early Rockstar games, for those people like to know these things. A couple of Sonic games. We start with Sonic Heroes down the bottom, then we got Sonic Mega Collection Plus, Riders. Soul Reaver, yeah, there we go. Space Invaders Invasion Day, which I suggest you get. It's not a great game, but it's a superbly cheesy opening to that game. Really does make me laugh every single time I see it. Space Race, that's Looney Tunes as well. Got Spider-Man games there as well. Friend and Foe, Web of Shadows. A couple of SpongeBob games. Some Spy Hunter games. Maybe Spy Hunter games came out. SSX3 and On Tour, all great games. Got lots of Star Wars variants. Revenge of the Sith is the Black Label one, but I think that's a very underrated game, actually. Starsky and Hutch, that's a good license, actually. Very good license. Strawberry Shortcake, I mean, that's a hidden gem, I'm sure. Super Truck Superman Returns, terrible film, terrible game. Oh. Taito Legends, sorry, I must get that right. Yeah, very, very lucky to get that one. Because on the inside of that, if I can open it up, I haven't perfected this art of using the camera and holding one. It actually came with the Bubble Bobble card. It does actually say, is it on the front? Yeah, free art cards. I was very lucky to get that. Very lucky to get that as well. Telly Addicts. And then we're on to the loads of the arcade. Oh my god, I mean, that is reinventing 10 old arcade games and none of them are any good. I mean, that is just a waste of a disc, honestly. Dukes of Hazzard, notable only for the fact that most of the original cast are doing the voices. It's far better than the PlayStation 1 games, and also it's got the extended version of the theme tune. Those people who know me will know I like stuff like that. We've got The Godfather as well, that crops up a couple of times. Great Escape, I think that's not a bad game, that one. Another Great Battles of Rome, another Gladiator game, I'm guessing. Lord of the Rings trilogy, one that's not there is Lord of the Rings, the Third Age. That's in the gold tin on the shelf above my head. Mark of Cree, we played that for PlayStation month, sorry. That is a very underrated game. Beautiful artwork in it. I think it was Command and Conquer who mentioned that recently in one of his videos. He's doing a purge of his PlayStation 2 collection. Definitely worth keeping your eye out for. Very underrated game. The Mummy is based on the cartoon series, not the actual film. The Mummy Returns is based on the film and not a cartoon series. More rubbish. Polar Express, Simpsons games there. Upgraded Hit and Run recently. I say recently. From a black label to a white label. Plenty of Sims games will get bored with real life. Some of All Fears if I get really, really bored. The Thing, played that on the PC. Very, very good game still. Thunderbirds, rubbish. Lots of Tiger Woods games. Do like me golf, but not that much. Time Splitters I could never get on with. Oh, Tom and Jerry. I mean, if they ever make a good game out of Tom and Jerry one day, that'd be fantastic. Plenty of Tom Clancy games as well. Not that I've played them, but yes, we have got some Tony Hawk's games. Yes, look, yes, there we go. We have Tony Hawk's games. Total Overdose probably got the best tagline in the game ever. Chili con Carnage. I love that. Makes me smile every single time. Tyler Time mainly in Tiger 2. I had the first one, but yeah, there's a story behind that. I'm not going to tell it now. Video Poker and Blackjack is going to be one of the most basic, horrible looking covers ever. Wacky Races, starring Dastardly Muttley. There are two versions of Wacky Races on the PlayStation 2. That's a cheaper one of the two. Whiplash. What have we got over here? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Of course, you have to have Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And then right down the very bottom, we've got Wipeout Fusion. Lots of rally games. World Super Police, which is it's a hell of a title for a game. It's the Midas game, but actually for Midas games, it's not too bad. Lots of Worms games as well. It's got, was it four there. There's the World Rally Championship. Got some WWF games as well. SmackDowns versus Raw. X-Men Legends. Nath's been in here writing his name on them. And, yep, right down the very bottom we've got Extreme Express World Grand Prix, which do not be fooled by that. It's actually a train game. And Zappa, and then finally finishing on the licensed game, Zathura. So there you go. That is the PlayStation 2. Oh, I'm going to stand up again. Hang on. Ugh. I'll just swivel the camera around a little bit. There we go. I'll do it like that actually. Just leave it there. But yeah, 640 odd games. And you can ignore the PlayStation. And ignore the Master System stuff there. And the PlayStation's PSP. Oh, there's a couple of Wii's on the floor there as well. A couple of Wii U units. What are they doing there? So now, once we've recovered from the motion sickness and everyone's finished throwing up and all that business, let's draw some conclusions. So yeah, there's a lot of rubbish on that in there. There's a lot of rubbish, but you know, it's been put together cheaply. And if I ever play any of them, great. If I don't, then that's it. But I think what we said we'll do at the start is we'll pick some of the games out. We'll try and put some Playmore 24 videos up about the PlayStation 2. I ain't going to play every single one on there. I'll just group some together and have a go. But yeah, I'd like to think there's some good stuff in there. I mean, you could probably whittle it down to maybe. You could probably whittle it down to by about 10%, by about 90%, and keep some really good things there. But I can't throw stuff away. You know, if I collect something, I don't want to throw it away. But I'd like to think there are some decent games in there, and you know, I've not only glossed on ones which I know about, and probably glossed over some there, and you may want to know a bit more about them. So let me know what you think. You know, are you a PlayStation 2 collector? You know, what were your memories of it? Do you still use it now? Where does it sit in your favourite systems? I think probably it's going to sit somewhere in the middle towards the bottom third of my systems that I own and actually have a lot of games and played and put time into. Again, not because I think it's a bad system. I just, you know, if I put the GameCube and the Xbox, the PlayStation 2 together, I'd always pick the other two ahead of the PS2. It's just preference. It is just preference. Just one of those things, I'm afraid. It just doesn't click with me. I don't know why. It's a shame. It's a shame because I really wanted to like it. I was really wanting it to like the Saturn. I really wanted to like that and get into it, but I just couldn't. It's a shame. But yeah, perhaps playing some more games for it will perhaps rekindle my interest a little bit, but we shall see on that. Keep your eyes peeled for those playing more in 24. In the meantime, thank you so much indeed for watching, and I'll be back again sometime very soon with another video of some variety. Until then, this is the Retro Bear, bidding you a fond farewell. Take care, and bye for now.